Hello people, it's Nikki, I'm back. I know it's been months, but I'm not even saying I didn't have an idea for the next video, because I did, and oh my god, I postponed it for so long because I wanted it to be perfect and I didn't know how to do this exactly, and I was just confused, and my perfectionism was just really bad. Like, this topic is really important to me. Today's video is about borderline personality disorder. I've been diagnosed with BPD for 1.5 years, but honestly, I'm not sure since when I'm struggling with it, because if I think about it, it might be many years. I had to understand that there is no perfect way to show what BPD is like, because it's just not possible, and you'll see why is it impossible to show it perfectly what it's like, because there are just so many types of it. Sorry, it's just really weird to talk on camera again. Like, it's been I don't know, the last video went up around October. It's like the end of January already, so this is actually the first video of 2020, which is so awesome. I wanna tell you guys that I have this cute notebook that is going to be my help for this video, because there's just so many information, and I want this video to be for those people who are struggling with, but also for people who have a loved one who's suffering from borderline personality disorder. I just want to raise awareness of this illness, because it's important and it's quite common to have this. If it annoys you that I'm reading from a notebook, then click out, because that's what I'm gonna do basically. Let's just begin, I think. And so, what is borderline personality disorder? Well, BPD is a mental illness that affects mood, behavior, and self-image. The disorder can result in problems with your relationships with your family members, friends, and loved ones. People with BPD may experience over-the-top, intense emotions that result in impulsive actions, anger, depression, and anxiety. These episodes can last from a few hours to a few days, or even longer. What causes BPD? Family history of mental illness, childhood trauma, neglect or maladaptive environment, brain abnormalities, or other unknown risks. In my case, I don't know which one is the right one, because I don't think I have a family member who's also suffering from BPD, but I don't know, who knows. And I'm pretty sure I didn't have a childhood trauma. Brain abnormalities, well, of course it can be it. Now, how is BPD treated? Medication helps BPD, but it doesn't cure it. People usually take antidepressants, mood stabilizers, and antipsychotics. I take antidepressant and also 2 antipsychotics. Not long ago I got this new med for my anxiety, and it's also an antipsychotic medication, so now I'm taking 2 of them. We already tried out a mood stabilizer like almost a year ago, but it caused me manic episode. Psychotherapy is the only proven method to treating the disorder. Programs like dialectical behavior therapy can drastically reduce the symptoms and save life. That is the most common therapy type for people with BPD. When I was at the hospital, I didn't get this kind of treatment, but my mom always tells me that I should go to psychotherapy again. And there is this program where there is this DPD kind of therapy, and people say it takes about at least a year to make an impact on someone's life. I think I should start it, because it can be effective. I don't know, but we'll see. Long-term intensive therapy is required in order to achieve a substantial recovery. About 1 to 2% of the population is diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and here are some scary statistics. 7 out of 10 people with BPD attempt suicide, and 1 out of 10 people complete suicide, which is a huge number. Like with BPD, it's like 10% of the people who kill themselves, but with bipolar disorder, it's only 6%. I mean, that's a lot too, but there's a significant difference. Well, there are 9 classic symptoms of BPD, and a person usually has to meet 5 of the 9 diagnostic criteria to be diagnosed with BPD. If you do the math, there are 256 different official versions of borderline personality disorder. So that's why I told you in the beginning that there is just no perfect way to show the people what's BPD like. So let's just get through this list of 9 classic symptoms. The first one is frantic efforts to avoid abandonment. It's not enough to only fear abandonment. If you have this trait, you will need to be actively doing things to avoid abandonment. Frantic things. What does that mean? One might keep everything to themselves, panicking that if they tell people how they're feeling, people will leave them. Others might think they need to be around telling people how sick they are so they're sorry for them and they won't leave them. The second one is splitting. In different words, the black and white thinking. Unstable personal relationships that alternate between idealization. In the person's brain who is struggling with BPD, there is no gray vision. There is just black or white. Nothing's in between. Splitting is a coping defense mechanism people with BPD use to avoid rejection or being heard. It means that someone is either good or they are bad. The third one is unstable self-image. Distorted and unstable self-image, which affects moods, values, opinions, goals, and relationships. For me, it's like this constant question in my head that who the hell I am, because I have no idea. If someone would ask me, tell me about yourself, I don't know, I might start to cry because I have no idea who I am. The fourth one is impulsive behaviors. Impulsive and risky behaviors such as gambling, reckless driving, unsafe sex, spending sprees, binge eating or drug abuse, or sabotaging success by suddenly quitting a job or ending a positive relationship. The fifth symptom is suicidal behavior or self-harm. Suicidal behaviors and self-harm can be serious, debilitating symptom for many people with BPD. Yes, I'm guilty too. To cope with these emotions, they turn to themselves with self-hatred. I don't know why I say it with them, because it's literally us. The sixth one is periods of emotional intensity. Wide mood swings lasting from a few hours to a few days, which can include intense happiness, irritability, shame, and anxiety. This symptom is perhaps why borderline personality disorder can be confused with bipolar disorder, but the cycles of emotions people with BPD face are a lot quicker than the cycles characteristic of bipolar. The seventh one is chronic feelings of emptiness. Feeling empty is something many people experience at one point in their lives, but for many with BPD, this is a chronic feeling and may result in constantly searching for something to fill the void. The eighth one is intense or uncontrollable anger. That's just horrible. Inappropriate, intense or uncontrollable anger, often followed by shame and guilt. Some call it the borderline rage. The ninth is dissociation. Dissociative feelings, disconnecting from your thoughts or sense of identity or out-of-body type of feelings, and stress-related paranoid thoughts. Severe cases of stress can also lead to brief psychotic episodes. Now let's talk about the stigma, because BPD is one of the most stigmatized mental illnesses out there. Despite being more common than bipolar disorder and schizophrenia combined, borderline personality disorder remains one of the least understood and most stigmatized mental illness. People often assume borderliners are violent, manipulative, or just generally bad people. Selfish, difficult, manipulative, attention-seeking, and treatment-resistant, words and beliefs that are often used by society and health providers to describe people with BPD. This stems from the shared belief that BPD individuals tend to evoke negative emotions on others. One of the most pervasive misperceptions among professionals and non-professionals alike is that people with BPD are intentionally trying to manipulate those around them with their displays of extreme emotion or self-harm. This is false, because these symptoms are stemming from mental illness, not a person deciding of their own volition that they'd like to manipulate other people. BPD individuals struggle to receive help because of society's fear of coming in contact with them. The stigma that surrounds BPD can be more debilitating than BPD itself. With more awareness of the disorder, we can learn to understand this misunderstood illness and prevent the dangers and death it causes. If you suspect that you or someone you know has BPD, immediately seek help. I'll put some websites down below so you can find information on how to get help, and I really don't suggest to diagnose yourself, but if you suspect that you might have BPD, just find a psychiatrist or a psychologist and they can give you a proper diagnosis, but don't do that by yourself. If you know someone who has borderline personality disorder, I can suggest you some things that you can do for them. So for me, the most important thing is to give reassurance. That's just very important to me, because whenever I'm not told that I'm loved and I'm needed and people care about me, I will constantly think that I'm not wanted, no one likes me, and I'm not loved, and then why should I be alive? And I always get very suicidal when I'm not told with these things. I try to be very honest with my hospital friend. It sounds so weird. Why do I call her like that? She's like my... I always tell her that I'm sorry, but you have to remind me of some things regularly, because I will get crazy otherwise. So she definitely understands it, and she actually tries to do that, even if it's not very easy, because like I really need it very frequently. And the other suggestion is, if you start a habit, don't just stop it unexpectedly, like without talking about it. For example, like talking to them every day, or saying good morning and good night. Plan on hanging out with them a certain amount of times a week. We will immediately overthink it, and we'll just think it's a rejection, and that person will leave us and no one cares about us. That we will think that immediately when something's not the way we got used to it. We have to have a routine. Just try to stick with it. People with BPD want and need to be loved, but their behavior can push and drive people away. who are the closest to them. They end up alone, scared, and consequently cannot see the point in continuing. What we need is the support and empathy to get help that we need. Famous people with BPD, and I just wanted to add this to this video because I think we can gather some strength out of it, because we will see that even if we have this illness, we can be successful. Angelina Jolie, Lindsay Lohan, Amy Winehouse, Marilyn Monroe, Princess Diana, Britney Spears, Jim Carrey, Ben Stiller, Nicolas Cage, Kurt Cobain, Robbie Williams. I'm not 100% sure that they are actually diagnosed, but some of them definitely are, but I'm not sure every one of them. I think we got to the end of the video because I actually talked about everything I wanted to. I'll definitely make more videos about borderline personality disorder because that's just a huge topic and there are just so many information about that, and as you could see, there are a lot of versions of borderline personality disorder. There is just a lot to talk about, so if you liked it, definitely give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you if you watch this video. It means a lot to me because I really enjoy doing this, and it would be just amazing if I could just do it regularly. I'm kind of stuck at it, but not everything has to be perfect. It can be a very good thing, even if it's not perfect. Thank you for watching this video. It means the world to me, and you all are beautiful and wonderful souls, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully very, very soon. Bye!